Now, I wish I could tell you that I learned the principles of being backable through my success, but I actually learned these principles through my failure. I learned them through my mistakes. I went out there and I pitched 8 people in a row on this idea, and all 8 of them said no. Well, one of them said maybe, and then he said no. And so I'm sitting in my apartment, I'm trying to figure out what to do, when all of a sudden, I receive a phone call from an organizer of a conference called FailCon, which literally stands for Failure Conference. Now, I already feel like a failure at this point, and this truly was my kick me while I'm down moment, because I feel like a failure, and someone calls me and says, hey, I'm organizing a conference on failure, and I would love for you to be the keynote speaker. And to make matters worse, the New York Times was in the audience, writing a big story on failure. And they decide to use my photo as the cover of this article. So I'm literally now a poster child for failure. I remember having a conversation with my wife. I told her, I was like, I feel like a failure. And she's like, you're not a failure. And I pull out this article. I said, nope, it says right here in the New York Times. I'm a failure. But this article turned out to be a gift in so many ways, because it opened the door to open, honest, vulnerable conversations with highly backable people who taught me that I could have the best idea in the world, but that idea might still be ignored. But with a few simple adjustments, I could turn my good idea into a backable idea. And it's with these few simple adjustments that I was able to go from literally being the poster child for failure to being oversubscribed with funding from top investors like Greylock and Google Ventures. And once I discovered the power of these simple adjustments, I wanted to go further. I wanted to learn everything there was to know about being backable. And so I started traveling the world, meeting with backers everywhere. And not just people looking to invest in startups, decision makers at places like the Pentagon, creative executives at places like Pixar and Lego and Method, producers of Oscar-nominated films. I even started to write a book on Backable. Because look, Backable isn't just for founders who are looking for funding. It's for the factory worker who wants to step into a leadership role. It's for the accountant who has a new idea for a new process at her office. It's for the retiree who wants to re-enter the workforce. It's for the artist who might be featured at the MoMA. It's even for practicing physicians. After I sold my company, Rise, I joined the faculty at Harvard Medical School, where I now teach students how to be backable. And look, over 80% of the students that I teach have no interest in starting a company. They want to practice medicine. That's their calling. But they have ideas on how to do it better. They have ideas on how to lower the risk of a dangerous surgery. They have ideas on how doctors and nurses can collaborate better to improve patient outcomes. They have ideas on maybe how to lower the rate of opioid addiction in the world. And who knows? Maybe one of them will become the next Alexander Fleming with the next penicillin. And with a few simple adjustments, we can help them turn their good idea into a backable idea.